Fired if I don't work that day, made it my last day. A few years back I worked on a relief crew on a drilling rig. The rig ran 24 hours a day with 3 shifts. Crews worked 6 days and then 2 days off. My crew would replace a working crew so they could have their 2 days off, so we worked mornings 2 days, then afternoons and then nights. It was common to find someone to take a shift if you wanted an extra day off, but the replacement had to have the same abilities. A crew had a driller, derrick hand, motorman, chain hand, and floor hand. People started as floor hand, and as they learned they would work their way up with more responsibility and more pay. Sometimes when someone changed companies they might take a lower position, so it was common to have someone with derrick hand capabilities working motor or chain. In September my wife asked about the chances of getting off for Christmas. I checked the calendar and my days off fell on December 24th and 25. Done deal. I have it scheduled off. Then I decided to sweeten the pot. I found a guy who would work December 22nd and 23 for me. Also found one who would work the 26 and 27. I took this to my driller who agreed they could work for me. With my 6 days off I could drive 400 miles to visit family. Things looked pretty sweet. Too sweet. The other guys on my crew were in the same position, so they all tried to find replacements and 2 were successful. Unfortunately, the driller only had 3 other guys on the rig who could work for him, and none of them wanted to help. He got mad and said since he couldn't get the time off, none of us could have it off. I reminded him that he had already approved my time, and he said that was cancelled, and if I didn't work on December 23rd then I was a runoff MF. Fired. I told him fine. I will work the 23rd, but that will be my last day of work. Consider this my 3-month notice. At work, nothing much was said for the next few weeks. Outside of work I was networking and found another job I could start the first week of January. All was set. At the end of my shift on the 23rd I emptied my work locker and said my goodbyes. The driller barely acknowledged me. Went home and drove to see family the next day. Spent a relaxing week there and then came back to start my new job. About the end of January I went to a friend's birthday party. There I saw one of my old crew. He asked me when I was going to go back to work. The driller thought I was just sulking around and would come crawling back soon. He never hired a replacement and they had been working short-handed for over a month. I said he better hire somebody. I wasn't playing games, and when I said I quit I meant it. A couple of days I get. But a month? Hadn't gotten the hint after a month? Not the sharpest bit in the box. Was he? I know. Drill heads that size aren't bits in a box. Going for humor here. This is what happens when management treats skilled employees like garbage, they lose them. So you couldn't be off for 6 days, but apparently 1 month is okay? Nice. I am not asking for days off. I am notifying you I won't be working on these days. The only thing up for discussion is whether I will return afterwards. The guy sounds like a real aw. Well done. The driller thought I was just sulking around and would come crawling back soon. Common mistake. Happens all the time. To losers. Lol. Well played. But he thought you'd come crawling back after then. What a massive ego on that guy. 3 months notice is plenty and good for you. Good workers are hard to find in your industry. I'm glad you took the opportunity to make it work for you.
3-month notice?
If they couldn't work without you for 1 day, how did they work shorthanded for months? Perfect way to handle it. Pretty sweet that you got a new job to go to so you could enjoy your holiday. You absolutely have to get someone to cover your shift, but then he can run a month without you. Shorthanded the whole time. Seems like the absolute requirement wasn't so required after all. Wow. Sounds like you made a bold decision and stuck to it. Good for you for standing up for yourself and finding a new job. Well played. People don't understand how badly they mess up when they mess with someone's vacation days. Should have just twisted when your drill said you were run off if you didn't work. Hell, at least you had hands lined up to cover it. That was pure FAFO on the driller's part, good on the op. Why did you agree to work deck 23 as your last day instead of just letting him fire you as of that day? You had to work extra and have a shorter vacation when you'd be out of work either way. And isn't getting fired better than quitting, as you could get unemployment if you needed it? Sorry. Not a native speaker. Could please somebody help me out? I fail to identify what the malicious compliance consists of in this story. Thanks. The 14/14ths we have now is so much better. I like how it's 6 days on, 2 days off. Is already worse of an arrangement than the normal 5 on, off. Terrible standard. He got mad and said since he couldn't get the time off, none of us could have it off. Imagine what it's like to be such a pissy person you would ruin other people's holidays so they can share in your misery. It's not even like screwing op over would mean the driller would have gotten to enjoy his holiday. He was just as screwed as before. So hateful. You, Knocknurse 58. Do people have to work on Christmas because of corporate greed, or is it one of those situations where it's unsafe to leave the drilling area unattended?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.